So what do you think is going on?
Yeah, I don't know, but the Sanctuary group's getting worried, and they're the only ones here without guns.
Yeah,
so.
well, we disarmed Sanctuary for a reason.
Cyber 2, this is Eye in the Sky. Come in, please.
There are more of them here than from anywhere else, and they're scared. If they wind up deciding they're safer back home, this whole thing's a wash.
Well, I'll make sure they're protected.
Oh, so they work for you, and you protect them, huh? What does that sound like to you?
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the 2 new sneak peeks for the next episode of The Walking Dead, Season 9, Episode 2, The Bridge. With that being said, major warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to the Season 9 premiere, and let's jump right into this. Alright, so originally I wanted to create 2 separate videos for both sneak peeks, but I didn't end up getting around to it as I was pretty busy this week, sorry about that, so instead let's just compile both of them and discuss everything leading up to episode 902. So let's start with the sneak peek from Talking Dead. Tara is radioing Rick about a zombie horde that she's watching them redirect, but for some reason the second horn didn't go off, worrying Tara that the huge horde will actually walk right into their crew, which is rebuilding the bridge, which by the way is the name of the episode, so we're going to be seeing a lot of that. They mentioned the campsite, which is probably where all the tents are in that forest, along with the lumberyard, and from the trailers we know that at least the lumberyard gets overrun with zombies, so we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Meanwhile, Alden is talking to Rick about how a group of saviors never went back to the sanctuary.
What about those saviors?
I just heard back from Sanctuary, and none of the guys who walked off made it back home.
None of them?
No, and some of them had families. One guy had a new kid. There's no way they just up and left them.
It was a fairly big group, even with a family and kids, so what happened to them? I don't think they just died or something, and it is possible that they could have been captured by the Whispers, but I feel like it's a more likely possibility that maybe the saviors just left to go and live somewhere else in the world. The crops at the sanctuary are dead, morale there is at an all-time low, and Alden continues to imply how anxious people are getting there. Rick says that they disarmed the sanctuary for a reason, which, makes sense, and that they'll just have to make sure that the civilians feel protected and safe, but Alden brings up a valid point comparing him to Negan. Now, although Rick's end goal here is just to get every community to work together as an equal, he is being painted in a bad light here, and as a matter of fact, I may create a separate video discussing this about Rick and what Alden is saying to him, along with the fact that the saviors are kind of acting like spoiled brats this season, because I could easily ramble on about it for a good 5 to 10 minutes, so maybe after episode 902 airs, I'll discuss that in full. But moving on then, let's discuss the second sneak peek, which was on AMC's YouTube channel. Michonne is saying to Maggie how she wishes that Maggie sent enough food to tie over the sanctuary until they figured everything out, with Jesus adding that they could do that, but Maggie responds by asking for how long. Without their tractor running, their production will get a lot slower, and Maggie's just looking out for them in the long run. She just doesn't want her community to end up in a bad position 2 weeks or a month from now, or even a few months from now, just because she gave up all of her extra food supply for some spoiled brats at the sanctuary when she gets peer pressured to. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to play devil's advocate and defend Maggie here. Hell, I haven't even really been the biggest fan of the way her character's attitude and personality has evolved the last season or so, but she does have a solid point here, and I do think that she's being a good leader looking out for her own. Keep in mind that Maggie had to hide from the saviors during the entirety of the war. She doesn't even want to go near Alexandria due to Rick keeping Negan alive in jail, yet she still understands that the sanctuary is a community that needs to be helped in order to get back on their feet and truly join in with all the other communities as well. And as a matter of fact, Maggie was 110% down with helping out the sanctuary at the beginning of season 9 episode 1, but it was only just all of the things that happened to her in the premiere involving Ken dying, and then her talking to Ken's mom, and then everything with Gregory that really changed her opinion on this. Now, in the comics, the blacksmith was his own character who actually ends up training Carl to be a blacksmith himself, but since that obviously isn't going to happen in the show, I guess they remixed the blacksmith to actually be Earl, the same guy who attacked Maggie, and in the comics, that family sides with Gregory as well, so I'm a little surprised that they end up making him the blacksmith. And so Michonne then brings up the question of how long they'll keep Earl the blacksmith locked up for punishment for what he did, because Earl being let out would actually be useful for them because he'd be able to fix the plows and then they'd be able to get their shit in gear. Maggie says that she's not sure how long she'll keep him locked up as she's never done anything like this before, and this causes Michonne to bring up the same conversation that she had in the premiere when she was laying in bed with Rick, which is about how they should create a series of rules and regulations to follow so that everyone knows what the punishments are for acting out of line. Michonne implies that they should let Earl out to help fix the plows in order to start being able to help all the communities more, but before she can finish her point, Maggie cuts her off rudely by insisting that the hilltop will be fine, and that's what matters right now. After talking to that woman last episode, Maggie realizes that she needs to look out for her own community first in order to retain the respect and support needed by her community members. So, what do you guys think of these sneak peeks? Rick and Maggie are doing their damnedest to keep all the communities afloat, but how much of this will even matter when they both leave the show 5 episodes from now? Leave any thoughts and theories down in the comments below, but that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, as it really helps me out more than you can imagine. And if there's anything from the Season 9 premiere that you want me to discuss in its own video, feel free to let me know, and I may do that as I want to get these discussion videos kicked off into Season 9. Feel free to subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future, and if you'd like to take that extra step in helping support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon as well. Also follow me on Twitter too, link to both of those in the description. I'm fairly active on Twitter even when I'm not posting videos, and I'm always retweeting everything I can involving both The Walking Dead and Better Call Saul. But anyways guys, as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!